Now you know when you're working on brakes alone, replacing pads and rotors isn't that big of a deal. The hardest part is bleeding those brakes. Traditionally, bleeding brakes is a two-man job. So if you don't have someone to help you, it can be a real pain in the butt. So that's why today I'm going to show you exactly how to bleed your brakes all by yourself. So here's the 4 best methods for bleeding your brakes or exchanging your brake fluid, starting with the budget DIY methods all the way up to using specialty tools that make the job way easier. All right, now that the wheel is off, we can see the caliper, and on the back side of the caliper, somewhere on your car is going to be this nipple for bleeding the brakes. And it's usually covered by a little rubber cap. I'm going to attach a rubber hose to this because this is where the old fluid is going to come out. And a lot of people don't use the hose to catch fluid. They just let it spray all around, which is not a great idea because brake fluid will eat up your paint, and it also get into your brake pads and mess them all up. And this is kind of where we get into brake bleeding being a two-man operation, because you need someone back here letting the fluid out, and you need someone pumping the brake to get the old fluid through the lines. Now, the first method I'm going to show you not only eliminates the need for that second person, but it's also very cheap and easy to do. It doesn't require any specialty tools. You just need a piece of hose. So to get ready for this, I'm going to find out what size this nipple is. Often they're a 10 millimeter. But I just get a wrench and I set it over the head of this so that I'm ready to loosen it. But I'm not going to loosen it yet. First, I'm going to get my hose and I'm going to put it over the nipple. This is a 1/4 inch clear tubing. It's literally like $3 or $4 at the hardware store. Now, the secret to this method is instead of just letting this run down into the pan, I'm going to route it up first. And this will allow the bubbles and the air to rise up in the line and not get sucked back into the caliper, which is the reason that normally this is a two-man job, is you need someone to close off the valve when the brake pedal is released so that air doesn't get sucked back into this. So by doing this, we're going to let the air rise and get trapped at the top of the tube instead. Now, as you can see, I am wearing gloves because you don't want to get brake fluid on you. It's pretty nasty stuff, which makes this part a little difficult. But what I do is I get some tape, or you can tie off the hose to shock absorber or something. Okay, next I'm gonna run this hose into my drain jug. You can use whatever, but this is my favorite thing for draining fluids, and I like to stick it in the little vent hole so that it doesn't slip out. Okay, so now I can crack loose my bleeder valve. I can loosen this up. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of fluid start to come out into the tube. Yep, there it is. All right, now I'm gonna go to the front. All right, so I'm going to come up here and do a nice big slow push on the brake all the way to the floor and just let it sit for a second, let any bubbles work their way up and not get sucked back in. And then I release the brake and I'm going to do a couple more of those. So up front we have our master cylinder reservoir. With any brake bleed method that you use, it's very important that you don't ever let this thing run dry, because that will allow air into the system and it defeats the whole point of bleeding your brakes. Now you got spongy brakes. So after 5 or 6 pumps, I'm going to come in here and top off my reservoir. So I'm actually going to overfill this past the maximum mark all the way up to the neck. Okay, now that the reservoir is topped up, I'm going to come and do another round of pumping. Now, if I'm doing this flush to get rid of air in the system, I'm just going to do it till I stop seeing bubbles in the hose. But we're doing a full fluid exchange, so I'm going to keep doing this until the fluid comes out of that hose clear. Now, because it's the rear, the lines are longer, this will probably take longer. I probably have to do 8 to 10 repetitions of this cycle. And then as I move forward to the front wheels, it'll be shorter. Okay, so I can see how much clearer it looks in this hose. So I'm going to call that good. And I'm just going to take my wrench, tighten up that nipple, just snug. All right, so I can pull the tape off, and then I just pop this off the nipple. Now this little gizmo is what we're going to be using for our next method for bleeding the brakes. It eliminates the need not only for the second person, but also the need to pump the brakes at all. Another cool thing about this tool, it doesn't just bleed brakes. So if you have one of these, you can do other stuff like diagnosing vacuum leaks. Just like the last one, we're going to take this little nipple cover off and we're going to attach a hose. These kits come with all kinds of attachments for different size nipples or different applications. So essentially this is a vacuum pump and it sucks the fluid out of the system rather than pushing it from the other end. But I don't want to suck fluid into my pump. That's how you ruin them. So I need a catch bottle in the middle. This allows the suction to carry on, but when the fluid comes in through the hose, it gets stopped in the little bucket. And then the trick with this is, because there's so many parts to this whole system, is finding a way to hang it or to tape it or attach it in a way that this isn't going to spill. Then I like to see the initial part of the tubing come up off the nipple again so that I don't run the risk of bubbles going back in. I forgot to put my wrench on first. Put that over the nipple, and then I put my hose on. And And now I'm ready to attach my vacuum. As you can see, a lot more parts involved in this method, but you do get a lot of cool adapters for working on different types of vehicles, and it's only 20 bucks. We're going to apply a little bit of vacuum pressure. You can see okay, now I can open my bleeder, and you can see the fluid and the air coming. So this is one of the byproducts of using the vacuum system, is that it actually will suck in air from the base of this bleeder screw, so don't be worried by a bunch of bubbles. All right, I was getting a little frustrated by the cheap kinked tubing in the kit, so I'm gonna go back to the tubing I already had just to see if I can get a little bit faster flow. So the benefit to this is I don't have to keep running back and pumping the pedal. I'm creating my own pressure here with the vacuum pump. But as you can see, it is a bit of a slower process. Okay, my bottle's getting about 3/4 full, so I'm actually going to close my bleeder valve. So I'm locking that off so that nothing can get back inside the caliper. So now I'm going to empty this into my jug, because I don't want this to fill up and accidentally go down the tube and get into my vacuum pump. But before I do any more pumping, I'm going to make sure that reservoir is full. Now that my reservoir is filled back up, I can create a little bit of vacuum. You want to use a loosening before I pump and tightening every time before I dump. Here we go. Loosening. I'm getting a good wrist workout. All right, so this is my 5th round and the fluid's coming out clear now. So it worked out and I didn't have to get in the car once. All right, so the hand vacuum pump method worked, but it was a tool that you had to buy. So what if you could do the same thing using stuff that you have laying around the house? Now, I've only ever actually seen this done. I've never tried it myself, so I'm curious to see if it works. So the idea is we're gonna pull the nozzle off of a spray bottle and we're gonna put it into our tube, and I'm gonna make it a little bit of a tighter fit so it seals better. Thicken it up a little. Okay, so now I'm gonna shove that in. Nice tight fit. Give it one more layer. This is not exactly how I saw it done online. I'm just doing it better. Always improving here on this channel. If you don't believe me, you should subscribe to the channel. More of you are subscribed, but most of you watching this video still aren't subscribers. So take this moment as I improve this craft project and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Now, my spray bottle creates suction, and we're going to use that instead of the vacuum pump. Yeah. And crack it loose. Oh, look at that. Spray it out like so much Windex. And we mustn't forget to refill our reservoir every once in a while. Man, my forearm is killing me. Wish I had an assistant.
So lazy.
This worked. Just like the last one, I didn't have to get in the car and pump the brakes, though it did take quite a bit longer than the designated tool. But if you don't want to spend the 20 bucks or you don't want to wait for it to come, you know, in the mail from Amazon, well, then you can use stuff under your sink and get the job done just fine. All right, we're on to our 4th method, and I'm getting a little tired of pumping and filling. So we're going to be using this tool right here. Now, this bad boy is just a pressure pump that applies pressure to the whole system and refills the brakes as it goes. One small problem, I made a mistake and I ordered the pressure pump that came with only the European style reservoir cap, so it's not going to fit on this Honda. I need to go find the right cap or a European car that fits this. So we need to replace temporarily the reservoir cap using the one from the kit. And now that I have the right vehicle, this Mercedes is going to fit this European style cap. Screw that on nice and tight, and this allows us to actually pressurize this reservoir. Now just keep in mind, I'm going to link the kit that has a whole bunch of different caps for different vehicles, which covers a lot of them, but some of them aren't covered, like that Honda we were working on. You would need to get an individual Honda cap because they made theirs really complicated. Or you can get the universal clamp-on style caps that interface with this fitting right here. All right, next step is to fill this up with brake fluid, and this is the magic of this machine. is not only does it pressurize the system, it automatically fills it as I'm bleeding. That's why some people call this a Mr. Push method.
Now, Mr. Push, as I like to call it, is going to screw onto the brake reservoir.
So this kit is pretty cool, not only pressurizing but refilling as it goes, and it's only about 45 bucks online. So right now the instructions say to hook this up and start pumping. But for me, that doesn't make sense because you're going to be forcing all this air that's in the line into the reservoir before it picks up fluid and sends that in. And I don't want air in my reservoir. So what I'm going to do is actually take the cap off, hook it up, which will allow air and fluid to pass through this fitting. And I'm actually going to prime the line with fluid, then hook it up. Now that line's full, I'm going to disconnect this fitting. So now this is closed off, reattach my cap, then hook it up. All right. Now I just pump it up to 5 PSI, build a little pressure here. You definitely don't want to go over 10 or 15 PSI, that's way too much. Caliper side, we've got this cool little drainage bottle that the kit comes with, and even a little hanger so we don't have to jam it in the brake lines to keep it steady. All right, so I'm going to pull off the little nipple cover, install my wrench, and now I just push this little fitting over the nipple. It's a nice tight fit, I love that. And now I'm just going to crack the valve open. So now I just wait till the fluid runs clear down at the caliper. It's almost kind of boring. I'm just going to make sure that the pressure stays between 5 and 10. Every once in a while I might have to pump it. But honestly, no walking back and forth, no pumping brakes, no squeezing handles. I just sit here and wait. It's pretty awesome. One thing you want to monitor is the level of brake fluid in the jug, because if it does run dry, you'd be essentially forcing air into the brake system, which means you'd have to basically start over bleeding. When I filled this up, I used a full jug of brake fluid, which depending on the size of your car or how dirty your fluid is, should be good for at least 2 corners. But if you're going to do all 4 corners, you just want to monitor that, keep it topped up. So if you do need to refill this in the middle of one of your corners, you just want to depressurize the tank with this little guy, top it back up, and then repressurize it. Okay, now that the fluid's coming out clear, I'm just going to lock off this bleeder valve, disconnect my hose, and I'm done. Depressurize this, disconnect the cap, place it with the original cap. So with any brake bleeding method, you just want to make sure you're leaving your reservoir at the correct level, not too high, not too low. All right, guys, if you like this brake video, you're definitely not going to want to miss this video on all the top mistakes that people make when working on their own brakes.